welcome to Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole and to Tutorial Tuesday. Today, I'm gonna give you a little thing you can do with some scrap yarn. I'm using my scrap cotton yarn. This is the biggest little piece. I've got some like little chunks, all different colors, and you can do whatever color you want. But do you remember as a child how you would cut the strips of construction paper and make the little links for your Christmas tree? Well, we are going to crochet some links. So very simple, easy to do. You probably already know how to do it, but I thought I'd share with you. So I'm using a 6mm crochet hook. You'll need scissors for cutting your ends, a needle for sewing in any ends that need to be sewed in, and a stitch marker to hold your place as you're going around. So to start with, you're going to chain 30. You do a slip knot and then chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 28, 29, 30. And you can make these any width or size you want. Like mine's gonna be about that big. If you're doing a mini tree, you could do just small ones and not do as many rows. But now I've done my 30. I'm going to make sure my chain is not twisted. I'm going to go down here, making sure the chain's not twisted. Go into that very first chain. Oh, sorry guys. And I'm going to do a slip stitch in that very first chain, which is pull through. I'm going to chain 1 to start my next row. And as I go along, I'm going to weave in or sew in, whatever, crochet in this end here. So now, in that same chain that I slip stitched in, I'm going to do a single crochet. Make sure that yarn, my end's caught in there so I can hide it. I'm going to do a single crochet. Now I'm going to stop and I'm going to put my stitch marker in that first stitch so I know where my starting stitch is for that row, and that's where I'll slip stitch on the next row around. So then you go to your next chain and do a single crochet. Now you're going to do a single crochet in each chain around all the way to the end, and I'll meet you back near the end, okay? Okay, I'm coming up on the end of my round. So I'm going in and single crocheting in every chain around. Okay, there's another one. And that looks like there's one more left right there. Give me some yarn. Okay, now I'm going to take out my stitch marker, keeping sight of that spot, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain from that row and chain 1 to start my next round. Now I'm going to do the same thing I just did. I'm going to go into that very same stitch that I did the slip stitch in, and I'm going to do a single crochet. Then I'm going to mark my stitch. So I'll keep track of where I'm at. And I'm going to do a single crochet all the way around till I get back to the end, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, I'm finishing up this row. I've got one more stitch right here. Single crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch of that round and chain 1 to start my next round. And you can make these as wide as you want to. I think I might do because you can make them really fat or you know, thinner. I'm trying to remember how fat we made ours when we were kids, because it just kind of brings back childhood memories. It's kind of a nice like memory that's keepable. And these are, if you use the 100% cotton, you can wash them each year and have them clean for the next year. So I'm playing this by ear, guys. I'm going to go into this first, the chain where I did the slip stitch. I'm going to go into that stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to go into the next one and slip stitch, because I think this is as wide as I want mine to be. And I'm going to go into the next one and slip stitch. And I'm going to slip stitch all the way around until I get to the end. There's my first stitch. I don't want to lose it. So now on this row, you'll do a slip stitch in every stitch around till you get back to the end, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, I'm coming up near the end, and I'm slip stitching in every stitch around for this third round. And this will be my final round for my chain. There's that last one. Take out my stitch marker, slip stitch into this first chain of that first stitch of that round, chain one, and cut my yarn. And then you just pull that on out, tighten up, and there is your first. When you sew that in, it'll get rid of that little hump-like area. There's your first chain. And let me decide what other scrap yarn I've got. I've got a little basket full here of scrap cotton yarn. See what I'm going to do for my next chain. And I'll show you how to link them together. And then you'll be able to make it as big as you want to, what colors you want to. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to sew in our end. I'm just going to weave in and out. Go in one direction and go to the other direction, and that kind of, see, it tucks that in right there. Then you'll cut off your excess yarn. There's our first chain. Oh, I gotta cut off this piece of yarn from where I weaved it in. Okay. Now let me get me another color. I think I will do how about lime green? Got a little bit of it left. We'll lay that chain over to the side. And again, I'm going to do a slip knot and chain 30. So I'll meet you back when I've got my 30 chains. Okay, I've got my 30 chains. Now to connect them, I'm going to go through my existing chain, and I'm going to make sure that I don't twist my chain up. So just make sure it's not twisted up. And this is what you'll do for every chain here on out now. I'm going to go into this very last chain, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Let me make sure I got it on the right place, because you want it in the top of that. I'm just double checking, because if you get it twisted, it's going to be hard to deal with. It won't look right. Yeah, I got it. So you go into the very first chain, or the very first chain, and slip stitch together and chain 1. Now you're just going to do a single crochet around for 2 rounds. So you crochet all the way around, slip stitch to join, crochet another round, and then the third round around will be a slip stitch in every stitch around, and then you'll fasten off. So we're going back into that same chain that we slip stitched in, and we're going to do a single crochet. We'll go into the next one, do a single crochet, and you do this for 2 rounds. Okay, let me go ahead and mark with my stitch marker so I'll know where I started. It just makes it a little bit faster and easier. So there's my first one right here. So single crochet all the way around, and you just let it slide around in this loop while you're in this chain while you're doing it. So I'll be back in a little bit after I've done 2 more rounds of single crochets. Okay, I've just finished up my second row of single crochets. So I'm going to go into this very first stitch of that row and slip stitch, chain 1. Now I'm going back into that same stitch, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. And do a slip stitch all the way around in every stitch around, okay? And I'll meet you back near the end. Okay, I'm coming up on the end of the round. Finish slip stitching these last few stitches. Remove my stitch marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch of that round. Chain 1 and cut my yarn. Now I'm going to sew in my ends, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so there's my 2 links, and I'm going to do a few more links, 2 or 3 more links, and then I'll come back and show you what I've got. And those are going to be cute. You could do different colors. In fact, these colors look like the Grinch colors, don't they? Depending on what decorations you have on your trees, that's what color chain links you could do. But let me do a few more links, and I will come back and we'll look at it with a few more links so we see what it looks like. Okay? Okay, guys, here is what I've done so far. Is 4 little links. Won't that be cute hanging on a tree? And you just use up your scrap yarn and make you a chain garland. And you could do that for birthdays or anything, really. That was just fun. Brings back memories of making them little paper chains. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and we will talk to you later in Crystal's Crochet Cubby Hole. Bye for now.